So a few days ago I was at the arcade playing one of the most recent Sega arcade games called Mission Impossible. And to be honest, I was fairly disappointed. Like most Sega arcade light gun games, it revolves around the same game mechanics. Surprisingly pop-up enemies, type mechanics in which you have to shoot a exploding bomb. There isn't much surprise element to it, and it was pretty boring. And to be honest, I have no idea what this has to do with Impossible Mission Force, also Mission Impossible. Why are there androids? Why do I need to shoot androids inside a train cart? What I'm actually trying to say is that I prefer the Sega arcade machines from the 90s, ending 90s, 2000 more. Enter my wish to own a Sega Astro City, a Taito Aggregate 1 or 2, or an Atomic Wave cabinet, also known as a candy cap cabinet. Seeing that those arcade machines are pretty rare these days, and I couldn't find one, if you're willing to sell one, I will buy it from you. I came across the next best option. This is the Sega Astro City Mini. This is a novelty item by Sega, released because they exist 60 years. And also because of the mini console fad, let's be honest. So what it actually is and what it does. It lets you play specifically Sega arcade games from the mid 90s to the ending 90s on a mini arcade cabinet. Inside the package, you'll find an HDMI cable, a USB micro cable for power, some instruction manuals in multiple languages, and of course the device itself. Now this is a experience review as an arcade gamer. If you want specifications, you can look them up on the official Sega website. I am just going to be brutally honest about this machine and how it plays. Back in 2020, I pre-ordered this machine from Amazon Japan. I eventually cancelled it because the shipping and tax costs would be too much. Now since a few weeks, Amazon has been shipping this European version to European customers. But what you're getting is the exact same Japanese machine. That also means that half of these games are still in Japanese, and it's clearly marketed at Asian-sized hands. I am a Western guy with Asian roots, but I do have Western hands, and playing the games is very cramped. It's doable, but it's cramped. The unit also doesn't have a built-in battery, which means it always needs a wall socket. Now I do think that there's a reason for that. I'll come back to it. Now once you boot up the machine, you get greeted by the top marquee with a green LED light, some logo splash screens, and then you are front blasted with the music. Now I do have to say the speakers on this machine are very loud and very clear. There are 37 games included on this machine, and I reckon most of the Western casual players don't know any of these games. And that is because half of these games are like said in Japanese. See, the Western market had a very different set of arcade games at arcade vendors. The only recognizable one that stood out a bit is Virtua Fighter. Now I'm not much of a Virtua Fighter fanboy, so I don't really care about Virtua Fighter at all. And it's a damn shame that those games are in Japanese, because they are a lot of fun. These are simple arcade games ranging from platformers to puzzle games. From the 37 games, only 3 games stuck out for me. One is being Arabian Nights. This is a 2D beat 'em up fighter, and is a very technical marvel when you know that this game is from 1991. It combines 2D sprites with FMV videos, and is one of the games I like to play on this device. Another one that I like to play is the unreleased Golden Axe game. Now I'm not much of a Golden Axe fan, but I can see the charm in this unreleased version. It is surely something I would like to play with someone next to me. And now the game that stood out the most for me was Rad Mobile. It is a very simplistic first-person racing game and reminds me of games like Lucky and Wild or even Outrun. It reminds me of the 90s arcade vibe and embodies this in a nutshell. Now if you dive into the settings, there isn't much you can do. There are some legal agreements, you can change the language, you can change the volume, you can change the brightness, you can even change it from the normal mode to a scanline mode. Now I don't like scanlines, so I'm never going to use this option. During gameplay, you can also pop up a settings menu by pressing the 2 yellow buttons, in which you can use save states, load a save state game, back to the menu, or return to the game that you're playing. All in all, the settings on this device are very minimal. Now some might complain it's bare minimum, but in my opinion it's all you need to play those games and enjoy those games. Seeing that the device is very small, one might think it's very portable. It is, but it isn't mobile. The machine doesn't have a built-in battery. Coming back to the conclusion why I think it needs a wall socket. I think the screen is very power hungry. Also, emulating the games is very power hungry as well. There is an option to make it somewhat mobile. If you have a power bank, plug it in, it is somewhat mobile. There are many options to expand the Sega Astro City Mini. You can buy a riser to make it a standing cabinet. You can buy additional joysticks. You can even buy a normal sized arcade stick, specially tailor-made for this machine, because there's also an option to plug it into a TV or a monitor. And the power cable makes this machine less mobile. And to be honest, if you want to play that specific game, there are better and other ways to emulate a game. And being curious as I am, I tried many other joysticks, which all didn't work. The machine is very proprietary when it comes to connecting these specific Sega peripherals. So here's the thing, I paid 110 euros for this machine. Is it worth it? And here's my honest opinion, it isn't. Only if you are a hardcore Sega fan, sorta like me, you would enjoy this machine. I do like playing the machine from time to time, but most of the time it will be put on the shelf right here behind me. So if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you give it a like, thumbs up, and even a subscribe if you could. This will keep you updated on the newest and latest videos that I release, spanning from arcade gaming to game reviews. And even hit that notification bell to get the latest updates for a new video. And I'll see you on the next one.